Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for May 2nd, 2022 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. The weather today was mostly overcast. There were some rain showers in the early morning that cleared out by the time the hawk flight began. And the wind was mostly from the southwest at moderate strength, shifting around to the west and then back to southwest by the end of the day. And we were hoping for a good day, and we weren't disappointed. First thing, the flight started to pick up, and then especially midday when the thermals started to build a little more, we got a bigger flight of things like broad-winged hawks and turkey vultures and bald eagles. So overall, a really good day. I got to the park early, and there was a fair amount of songbird activity, especially as the warbler migration starts to pick up. Especially numerous were yellow warblers. Here's a brown thrasher as it flew from one perch to another. I had my first of year bobolink today. Here we have an American kestrel. And like I said, the early morning was more things like kestrels and sharpies, and then the bigger birds that like to soar waited for the thermals to build midday and then the afternoon. Here we have a northern harrier that was diving down towards prey. We didn't have a lot of broad-winged hawks early, but the ones that we did have gave us pretty nice looks, such as this adult broad-winged hawk. Here we have a light morph rough-legged hawk, and this is a beautiful one. This is not the bird that's been hanging around the marsh. I think that one may have finally taken off. I think this was actually an adult bird, but just really beautiful with that pale white head. We had a good day for peregrine falcons with a total of 5, including a few that gave us good looks. Here was the first golden eagle of the day, and they actually are called golden eagles because of this gold color on the back of the head and neck. So some people get confused. They think they see a young bald eagle and it's kind of brown underneath, and they think that that's where the name golden eagle comes from. But actually, the only gold on a golden eagle is just in this area on the back of the neck. Here's another angle of the same bird, and we can see those white patches in the wings. And almost all of the golden eagles we see are immatures, and almost all immature golden eagles have these white patches. So basically, most of the golden eagles we see have white patches in the wing and the white tail base as well. The other thing you can look at is shape. Golden eagles just have a very small head. Here we have an adult red-tailed hawk. So it's got patagial bars and belly band, and it's an adult, so it has a dark trailing edge to the wing and a red tail. Here's golden eagle number 2, and this one is in a glide posture. We can see the same field marks. Got those white patches in the wings and very small head compared to the tail. Maybe the head only looks 1/3 of the size of the tail. And here was golden eagle number 3, and again, same field marks. White patches in the wings, although in this lighting they were tough to see, but really small head compared to the tail, unlike bald eagles, which have a huge head that sticks out. Here's part of a group of broad-winged hawks, and you can see the stripes on the tail. And most of the broad-winged hawks we're seeing are adults like these, although we are seeing a few juveniles mixed in. But the adult migration happens first, and then it'll switch to the juveniles as the month goes on. So once we start seeing a lot of juveniles, we know we're into that second phase of the flight. But for now, we're still holding on to the tail end of the adult migration. Here we have 2 juvenile bald eagles, and you can see, like many, they're starting to molt, especially this one here, replacing these inner primary feathers. And we had a great bald eagle migration today. We had a total of 91, and at one point, just in one section of the sky, if you scanned from the ground up, you could count 17 different bald eagles. Here we have a cliff swallow, which is one of our less common swallow species to see from the Hawk Watch, but they're pretty distinctive with this orange rump. Here we have a juvenile Cooper's hawk. So it's a Cooper's hawk just because it's got shorter outer tail feathers, which give the tail a rounded look. It's got very straight wings, and just the overall shape. The wings are a little longer, the tail's a little longer. It's not compact and stocky like sharp-shinned hawks. Now from this angle, the head does look small, but it's just the angle, so don't let that throw you off. Here we have an osprey carrying a pretty huge fish. And the bald eagle chased the osprey and stole the fish and flew by with it. Here we have another bald eagle, and this is what we call a 4th year type, 4, maybe 5 years old. And we had one more peregrine falcon to end the day. If we take a look at eBird today, I had 76 species, so yeah, better than other recent days, just as the number of migrants continues to pick up. And as the month goes on, we can have days where we'll get up over 100 species for a single day. If we take a look at hawk count for our migrant raptor totals, we had 229 turkey vultures, 22 osprey, 91 bald eagles, 40 northern harriers, 160 sharp-shinned hawks, 9 Cooper's hawks, 659 broad-winged hawks, 83 red-tailed hawks, 1 rough-legged hawk, 3 golden eagles, 7 American kestrels, 2 merlins, and 5 peregrine falcons, for a total of 1,311 migrants today. We had a number of new species for the season, and those were common yellowthroat, bobolink, white-crowned sparrow, fish crow, and solitary sandpiper. And if we take a look at the forecast, for tomorrow we're looking at mostly cloudy in the morning, then periods of showers later in the day, high in the low to mid 50s, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So actually in the early morning, there might be a bit of sunshine, and the winds are going to start out very light from the south. Then as the morning goes on, they're going to shift more southeast and then east, and pick up in speed and eventually shift northeast and become quite strong as that rain moves in the afternoon and the skies become more overcast. So it seems like the morning is going to be the better time tomorrow, and hopefully today's good flight will continue at least for the first few hours, but after that, once the winds shift northeast, I wouldn't expect too much. So we'll hope for a good flight in the morning. For Wednesday, we're looking at early rain and then cloudy with showers, high in the low 50s, winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So that rain may delay the start of the count, and overall the winds are looking unfavorable. So even if the sun pops out a bit in the afternoon, I wouldn't expect much to be migrating. And for Thursday, we're looking at partly cloudy, high in the low 50s, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we'll have some sunshine to get the birds up, but those unfavorable winds will be pushing anything that soars away from the lake shore. So wouldn't expect many broad-winged hawks, for example, but sometimes we can still get a decent flight of things like sharp-shins or bald eagles. So we'll hope for some migration on Thursday, but won't be a big broad-wing day probably. All right, that's it for today. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of these daily updates from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. This is David Brown. Thanks for watching.
Oh.